But really quickly, let's wait for the train. So I grew up with tea in my household. I grew up with a Jamaican mom who was like, you can't leave the house until you have a cup of tea. And as I got older, I started to experiment with loose leaf teas and herbal teas. And like some of you here who are in the community gardens, I actually had a garden and grew different herbs and stuff and started to brew tea. So I have some examples of some flowers that are here: lavender, chamomile, calendula. And as I started to experiment more and get more and more into it, I started to realize that there is such thing as Western brewing and Eastern brewing. So this is kind of like the Eastern brew that I'm talking about, which is called Gong Fu Cha, which means to brew tea with skill. And so I was talking about all the different little elements that you can use, and also talking about the differences between teas. A lot of people call peppermint, chamomile, all that teas, but they're actually called tisanes or herbals. And teas are actually anything that comes from the Camellia sinensis plant. So that's green tea, black tea, oolong tea, pu'er tea. Here's an example of pu'er that I brought out. This is a style that they do in China where they press the tea leaves together and you get these discs, and you use a tool, a tea pick, to chip away at the tea. Right, and then put it in your pot. So this is a pu'er. This is also a pu'er. This is a ripe pu'er. Same idea, it's just a different mold. You chip away at it and you drink it. So yeah, I slowly just started to get into it. So I've been drinking tea since I was a little girl. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am now, but it's been a long time. And I've been into Gong Fu for about 10 years. So welcome everyone. So before I go further, just real quick, let you know what's going on. I'm going to be doing a tea meditation soon. One of the things you're supposed to do is to bring your own tea. Did anybody bring their own tea today? No? Okay. So because of our COVID restrictions, I can't share a tea with you, but I'll still do the demo, and we can still meditate together and kind of get into it together. Okay? But before we go there, I would love to hear from the newer people at the table, just your name and kind of sharing your tea story. How is tea present in your lives? Whether it's Eastern or Western. I'll start with you here.
Yeah, I started with literally growing up with tea. I think the time spent was always at 11 o'clock when my mom would get home from work. That was our little thing to do. So even my teen years, when I got older, that was something.
Tea time?
Tea time, yeah. We'd always go. Sometimes we'd go to like the high tea in Boston or whatever. But just that time of slowing down. And then the past 6 years when I moved to city, started having more tea. It was still a political thing, but then I got really interested in, we were trying to figure out how we could get together with people with cultures, and we discovered that we both love tea. So that's, kind of how I took it to another level with really beautiful teas like yesterday.
So do you drink your tea like this?
I do a lot of different teas. I've been doing it for the past 2 years. At least the cultural center in Brooklyn, I've been going there for the past 2 years. Different tea houses. Interested in learning more, experiencing more teas, and just taking that time just to unplug and meditate, to be with people and stop and have tea.
Great.
So, yeah.
Thank you. What about you?
What was the question?
Just your experience with tea. How is it present in your life?
I think I grew up with tea always being in the cabinet for being like healing, like green tea. Like whenever we felt sick, we would just drink green tea. And then I think learning more about plants and the medicinal use, it's always like tea is always the best avenue I felt.
Absolutely. Okay.
So I'm also Latina, so it's similar to Sydney's experience. I remember having like the grand aunties and people around that knew the different medicinal properties of tea, the way we use it in the Spanish-speaking Caribbean, which I think is similar to the English-speaking Caribbean, because we use a lot of ginger, we use lemongrass, we use chamomile, we use cinnamon. So all this, and lemon, very, so making like homemade teas. Like I never really liked the taste of box tea. I learned to appreciate it as I got older and, met more people. I learned to like Darjeeling tea and, things, more from different parts of the world. But when I think of tea, I always think of something of comfort that you share among the family principally, and especially when, you need healing. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Paula. Being from a Chinese family, tea is at the house every day. As far as I know, my mother always have a pot of tea. Not this pot, but a pot like this. She always fill it. We fill it the whole day, and we drink it hot, cold. So I'm brought up with tea, and as I grow up, I love tea more and more. I really like tea. Everybody, my friends, all know that I love tea. So whenever they get me something, it's tea. So I have a whole cabinet of tea. It's enough for a lifetime. I have one in the morning. I drink coffee, but in the afternoon, after 2-3 o'clock, I follow the British custom. I have afternoon tea. That's what I do every day. It's very rarely missed, except I'm not home. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If I have my tea, it's definitely a different feeling for me through the day. So it's very comforting and a necessity. Yes.
That I pass down.
Yes, I agree.
Happy hour. I like that.
Okay, I'm Sharon. I don't have any stories about tea, but I do drink a lot of tea. And since COVID last year started, I really basically stick with ginger, lemon. Of course, I put honey in it. Things like that. I would taste any tea the first time, see if I like it. If I don't, I won't get it again. But that's basically my story of tea. I don't really have a story of growing up on tea and stuff because we as African Americans, we had Lipton tea and I never liked it at all. And I don't like cold tea, so don't give me that. I like hot teas, but that's what we was brought up on, the Lipton tea bags. So, true. So as I grew up, then I got a little steeper and, I learned how to do teas, putting natural ingredients inside and stuff like that to try it that way as I got older and being an adult and stuff. But that's my story about tea.
Hi, I'm Mary. My daughter is Elise, and I'm not a big tea drinker, but I know a lot about tea. My daughter travels the world buying loose leaf tea all over the world, and I've plucked tea in Hawaii. I've worked with a lot of tea because of my daughter, and that's my story.
My name is Demetrio. I get to the story about tea. The first one is, I was born in a farm in the countryside, and my grandmother, every day she made me tea. There was already the smell of tea in the ginger and cinnamon. So it was like a nice smell. And then when we moved away from the farm, when you had a large family, everybody had to work to make a living. So I used to sell bread in the morning. And next to the baker, there was a guy that sold tea. And I trusted to tea from when you were like 2 or 3 years old. You smell this tea, and one of the best things was have a piece of nice warm bread with a cup of ginger tea. That was like, I still remember that when I was about 9 or 10. So, yeah.
Wow. Since you were 9 or 10?
Yes.
We still have Eddie. Do you want to share something?
Sure, yeah. I'm Eddie. Lipton is actually my like childhood tea experience. You know, my family's from the Soviet Union, and in Russia and the Soviet Union, people drink a lot of tea. It's one of the world's biggest importers of tea. But at home, we would just have Lipton, and it's kind of what you drink when you're sitting around with people, and maybe after dinner, in the morning. So that was kind of my exposure, but obviously as I got older, I got more interested in tea outside of Lipton and outside of the bag. And it's kind of just like you accidentally meet people, you have some tea with them, and you learn a lot, and all of a sudden your closets are filled with tea and teaware.
Yeah. Closets, wow.
Not closets, cabinets.
My name is Linda, and when I was growing up, I'm from the South, and when I was growing up, my mother, well, they always drank coffee, but they didn't want the kids to drink coffee, so she said for us to drink tea, so my tea is Lipton, and you know, if you have a nice cup of tea at night, it like relaxes your body so you can sleep better. So that's my story.
I was telling them you put a lot of milk.
Yes, I love a lot of milk in my tea.
Oh, this is your mother?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Yeah.
Yes, I love the milk in the tea.
Oh, wow. Do you ladies want to share? I know you shared earlier, but you want to share your stories really quickly?
Yeah, I can share. I mean, my aunt and my grandmother also shared, so it's basically the same for me. Yeah, lots of Lipton, but also recently also drinking lots of ginger tea and lemon tea to help as like natural remedies for the body.
Well, my family's Jamaican, so in the morning my mom always brewed me a cup of mint tea like with my breakfast. When I'm sick or I have a headache or anything, my mom always prescribed tea, and so it's kind of like a healing thing for me and my family.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, everyone. And the stories are similar. We all drink tea for comfort, memories, to feel good, and for stillness, which is what we're going to talk about today. So I will share with you a meditation that you can take home and apply to what you already do at home.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask also, I'm one of the founders of Cold Farmers here. Is it okay if I take a couple of pictures? Or just, you know,
Yeah, thanks for
don't-
asking, because
don't
I
really
did.
post things on social
Yeah.
media, but to share with the farmers.
With
Is
with tea.
that okay?
Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of visualization since you don't have tea today. Oh, yes.
Let her come. Come on, come, sit right here. Sit right here. Come. Let her come on down. Come this way. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm wrong.
Elise, do you want to share too?
Come on, you can come.
Okay.
You have to tell your tea story.
Welcome. Hello. Would you like to share with us your story on how tea is present in your life?
Yeah. So my dear friend who I call my nephew, he's my girlfriend's son. We go on detox. We use green smoothies in the summertime. We're supposed to do it for 7 days. I usually do it for 4. But we make the green smoothies according to Jay Smith. She's a nutritionalist. And we do detox